no longer can be an urban elitist conglomeration. This Congress is laying special emphasis, I am told, on participation of women and youth in the planning of the cities of tomorrow. The Congress, as I mentioned, holds a special place as it combines itself the best practices in construction of metropolis, and we hope to learn very useful lessons from your deliberations. I would, having been a resident of metropolis for a major part of my life, like to place before this august body some aspects for your kind consideration. I would in fact request that at the end of the deliberations, if the best practices on some of these concepts are put together in the form of a booklet and circulated so the various mayors and the various metropolis could gain from each one of you had an experience. None of this is new in terms of living, but it adds to our experience to see in terms of best practices all over the world, because this is an international world Congress. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the issue of migration of populace from the rural to urban areas in search of green and pasture has now come to be a reality, and it has to be accepted. I do realize that many times, many of us would like to run away from the hustle bustle of city life into those calm, peaceful, serene, green environs. The rural-urban migration brings along pressures on infrastructure and other attendant facilities. We need to accept that people's aspirations and expectations only increase, particularly when they land up in the urban areas, and they see an entirely different lifestyle as compared to what is obtaining in the rural areas. Given the fact that a metropolis is also a hub of commercial and economic activity, and given the constraints of place, we need to now think in terms of creating adjunct satellite townships. We can no longer put all our eggs in one basket and concentrate all economic or commercial activities in the metropolis alone. We need to move outwards into the other satellite townships and create a number of satellite townships. If this happens, of course, this may result in a delineation of the urban metropolitan region itself. So we may have to reconsider what will be the boundaries of an urban metropolis. It may have to change once this concept is put into practice. Health security for the citizens of a metropolis is critical. When we talk of health, water, which is a very rare source, which is in short supply, the resources are only going to dwindle and the populations rise. Thus, institutionalizing clean drinking water supply is a challenge. I'm happy that the Chief Minister of Telangana is focused on this particular aspect. To ensure good health, a proper sewerage system and solid waste management needs no emphasis. Of course, Medicare is a very important aspect of a metropolis life. A citizen should be able to access affordable and good health care at a pinch, in an emergency, which means that health care is taken care of. Energy security has become the biggest challenge in a metropolis. Energy needs are increasing, with more households taking to luxurious lifestyles. Provision of clean, affordable energy is a big challenge. To my mind, recourse to solar energy and other forms of non-conventional energy brooks no further delay. This is an aspect which I think all of you will have to put your heads together, because the thermal sources or the other sources are going to be limited, and all of us cannot go into nuclear energy all the time. So we will have to think of alternate sources of energy, maybe non-conventional or solar energy. But the question is the affordability and the cost factor. We'll have to see how we can really work it out. Given the fact that metropolis populace is a mixed lot, ranging from the very rich at one end of the spectrum and those searching for a roof, emphasis needs to be placed on housing schemes which are both affordable and comfortable. However, any tendency to convert a metropolis into a concrete jungle or eating into existent water bodies must be scrupulously avoided. Rainwater harvesting should be made mandatory, and no permission should be given to any multi-story structure unless solar energy is installed, solar energy concept is practiced, and also rainwater harvesting arrangements are made. I am afraid if we do not do this, metropolis will soon crumble into concrete jungles and people will not be able to live there. The question of green patches, there is hardly any green patch these days available in metropolis, because every inch of land is grabbed to build a concrete structure. I think we need to revisit this whole concept, whether we need a concrete metropolis or a green metropolis with good rainwater harvesting and solar energy facilities. This is something which, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to leave to this august body to really consider. In my view, cities of tomorrow must be clean and green. Transportation modes need to be addressed to encourage people to use public transport in a major way. In fact, we made a very feeble attempt in Hyderabad on a cycle to work experiment. Unfortunately, I don't know how well it is working. And this body, as it is giving emphasis on youth, I will kindly request the youth to take to this Cycle to Work program in a more encouraging manner. If more of youth can join up in a Cycle to Work program, and once our rapid mass transport system or metro system comes into work, we are planning, hopefully we'll have cycle to work or walk to work in a greater fashion and ensure that wheeled arrangements are used to the minimum so that pollution is also kept to a very bare minimum. Communications, of course, is a very vital aspect of life. In today's world of wires and wireless, we must ensure that connectivity is established not only as a measure of convenience, but also a measure of security. I am aware that the Telangana Minister for Communications has great visions in this direction, and also a tool of governance. I do hope this August body will discuss this theme in detail, as communication technology as a comfort multiplier today has become a necessity. Security, in terms of an effective, modernized police force, a tech-savvy security apparatus, a people-friendly police will be high on the wish list of any metropolis resident. Unless a resident feels secure, I think there's no purpose of doing anything else at all. So security becomes primary, and I think this is anything on which we need to focus. At the same time, we cannot have a force which is going to be arrogant or brutal. It has to be a people-friendly force, a tech-savvy force, and an extremely friendly force. Resource mobilization, of course, has to cater to all these needs, and this must be gone into if the city is, for all is a single point of joy and happiness. Hopefully, taxes, etc., will take care of this. Please do not, in the midst of your future city, forget the culture and heritage of the metropolis. We need to stay connected at all times with our heritage. Our heritage is very rich, our culture is very rich. I think the metropolis culture, metropolis behavior normally is that you forget the culture, you try to go to some culture which is outside your venue. I would request that in all metropolis, we should really preserve our own culture and heritage and encourage it. Lastly, but most importantly, I feel involvement of the citizenry is crucial for a successful city, as they are the residents and they need to have a sense of ownership. I mean, citizens and the government have to be partners. There's no use in me passing on everything on to the government. I think citizens' participation in a big way to make cities for all, because it is city for all. It is not a city for the government. We are looking at cities for all citizens. So that is where I think the people will have to participate in a big way, and they must own the metropolis. The ownership concept, I think, is very important. This, I think, ladies and gentlemen, are some aspects which I thought you should ponder over. This August body should really ponder over. And please do not miss out the delicious cuisine of Hyderabad and also the wonderful, fascinating sights. And I do hope delegates would not forget to carry back with them the wonderful Hyderabad pearls to their near and dear. I hereby declare the 11th Metropolis World Congress 2014 Hyderabad open. I wish the deliberations all success, and I'm sure this will be one of the most fruitful Congress that has been held and will be held in the times to come. Thank you all very much for your patience.